Hi, I'm Nancy Miller from Miller Prosthetics and Orthotics, and this is Keating, and this is Logan.
Yep. Hey.
Logan's from WVP. And we have a prosthetic and orthotic company here in the Mid-Ohio Valley. We have an office in Parkersburg on Dudley, and we have an office in Belpre. And we adopted Keating because he was born without a leg. We wanted our practice to be a high-tech practice. We wanted to be on the leading edge of technology. So when we started our practice, we started out with a 3D scanner. And so when amputees come in, we scan their residual limb. And we wanted to get into 3D printing. And that was, our business started in about 2012, 2013. So we studied the 3D printing market, bought a 3D printer, and never had luck with it. I printed out some small things, went to some classes. I actually met a man named Rick Sevier, and he teaches 3D printing for prosthetics and orthotics in Tulsa. Took one of his classes, and my 3D printer just wasn't the greatest, and I always had issues with it. One of my goals to incorporate 3D printing in the practice was to build Keating a 3D printed leg, and we thought that would be a really good way to learn how to do 3D printing and introduce it for human patients. And it just wasn't happening. A lot of big projects came up. I got sidetracked. We ended up building a new building, hiring employees. And then one day, the Mid-Ohio Valley Chamber of Commerce had a ribbon cutting here at the Makerspace. And so I was delighted when you opened this. And then I set a goal for myself that I was going to finally get back to 3D printing this dog's leg by July 18th. And I fired up my printer, and it did nothing. So I called Logan and scheduled a time to come in here. And we got it going on. We had a hard part of 3D printing a dog's leg is scanning. That's the first step, and we had that down pat because we could scan. So we had his leg scanned at the office. Another thing that's tricky with printing a dog's leg is the alignment. If it's not aligned properly, if this leg is not aligned properly with his socket, then he won't walk on it. He will, and the first couple prints before one was too big, one was too small, we finally figured out how to make it right. But then it wasn't aligned, and he wasn't walking properly. So then we tried a sphere shape so that we could adjust the leg, printed the three pieces separately.
So how it started was, like Nancy said, she had a 3D scan of the design of the leg itself, and that helped a lot because that let us know that what we had to build around. And then from there, we just used the software's Fusion 360 and Mesh Mixer to make the leg itself. So we just went through a couple processes, extractions, extrusions, and some smoothing. Pretty basic stuff as far as how to do it. It can get a little bit more complicated, but then it was just a matter of making it fit him and getting the alignment right. And that was that was the real tricky part, is making sure the alignment was right, because it goes back to he just wouldn't use it if it wasn't aligned right.
We adopted Keating so that we could help the dog, so that we could make legs for the dog as he grew. And then we wanted to bring him into our office so that our human patients would have a support animal. And when we did that, I thought perhaps our patients would be more comfortable if the dog was a certified therapy dog. So then I trained him, tested him, and he's a certified therapy dog through Therapy Dogs International. And that allowed him to visit places like this. Mm-hmm. And also, I think he was certified on a Sunday, and that following Friday, I took him to a national amputee conference in Greensboro, North Carolina. And there was one girl that I'll never forget. She was a recent amputee. She was still on crutches. She was probably in her 20s. And when she saw this dog, she just started trembling and shaking with joy. She was so overwhelmed and loved the dog, and he had that effect on so many people, and we thought, wow, this dog is very important. But every Tuesday, so along with coming to our office, every Tuesday usually I go to Belpre Landing and we do visits, And so he's very social. He's not cuddly, but he's very social. So he goes in and he greets people. So we're gonna see if he does this with you.
Okay.
So let's greet. Come on, greet. Good boy. Chin. Pet. Good boy. Stay. Okay. Good boy. So that's what he does usually, and just comes in, zips in for a minute here and there, and visits everybody and gives them a smile.